podcast. We're with
Joey
and Melanie, and today we'll be speaking about Sermon on the Mount and Sermon on the Plain, commonalities and differences. Starting off with differences, today in modern day society, Jesus would have been able to preach with a microphone or to like a large audience in a stage, but no, it was back in like the old days, so he did not have those things. But in Matthew chapter 5 to 7, he delivers his sermons on a mountain to be heard by all, preaching his wise words.
The Sermon on the Plain was different because it was delivered on a plain instead of a mountain, but it still carried out the same effect of not having a microphone or a megaphone to carry out his ideas. Therefore, he had to use a place with higher acoustics to deliver his message.
Sermon on the Mount in Matthew's version is longer than the Sermon on the Mount of the Plains. It goes on to chapter 5 to chapter 7.
Sermon on the Plain describes the sermon on a more general basis, while the Sermon on the Mountain goes more into depth in detail.
In the Sermon of the Mount, Jesus actually teaches the Lord's Prayer, which is,
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Then in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus pronounces 4 woes, which are:
Woe to you who we fed now, for you will go hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will mourn and weep.
Woe to you when everyone speaks well of you, for is that how their ancestors treated false prophets? Woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort.
Now, moving on to similarities. For example, both include moral and ethical morals to teach their followers.
Both the Sermon of the Mount and the Sermon of the Plain both mentions Beatitudes, which is blessings pronounced by Jesus. They are in both sermons, emphasizing spiritual values and lessons.
Last but not least, both Sermon on the Mount and Sermon on the Plain are both mentioned in the Gospel of Luke and Matthew.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. This has been fun. This is Joey and
Melanie, and I hope you tune in next time for our next discussion on God and preachings. Bye!